Well, this is our last day here in Saskan Ranch. We bought this place in 2004 or 2005, somewhere around then. At the time, the plan was to build the garage with an apartment over it and then live there while we built our main house, which was going to be over here in this clearing, and probably cut down a few more of these trees so that we could build a main house. But we built this 4-car garage with an apartment over it, and we were going to live in that while we built the main house. But I was pregnant with Wyatt at the time, and I ended up getting preeclampsia and giving birth to him 2 months early. So he was in the NICU for a month, and so we didn't end up coming here that summer. And then after coming here for the winter and going through the snows and stuff, we decided we didn't want to live here. We bought another house in Phoenix in 2010, but we always came here for the summers and some weekends in the winter to play in the snow. We've had so many memories here. We have our fire pit. All the kids would always want to help make fires. And I always had to tell the kids about don't be like Paul, because we had a neighbor, Paul, when I was a kid, and he tried to jump over a fire and he ended up losing an eye, burning himself in the fire. So all my nieces and nephews always know, don't be like Paul. Don't be like Paul. And going up and smelling the trees. I know that sounds weird, but these ponderosa pines, if you go up and you smell them in the little cracks in their bark, it smells like butterscotch. The guy who sold us the property actually told us that when we moved in, and we were laughing at him like, what kind of nutcase goes around smelling trees? You know, that's just weird. But I would always come up and look for a nice little crack like this that's really deep and just put my nose in there. Yep, it smells like butterscotch. So if you're ever around ponderosa pines, go try to do that. So I've smelled all of these trees. These have been my trees since 2005. And this is my last walk through them. So we have 5 acres here. The house closes on the 31st. And this will be our last time here. It hasn't really been that hard since we've been so busy with trying to pack everything up and move and sign papers and, you know, all the stuff that goes into selling a house. It doesn't give you time to really think about your feelings about what's happened. But it's really crunchy because I'm stepping on a whole lot of pine cones. For some reason, these 2 big trees that are right here drop a lot of pine cones. And then when monsoon season starts here shortly, a whole bunch of mushrooms will grow back here. And Olga and the kids won't be here to come back here and kick all the mushrooms, and I won't be here to tell them, don't kick the mushrooms. I like my mushrooms. So this little hill goes up to our backyard here, which isn't much of a backyard. It's just a pile of dirt and we threw grass seed on it. But in the winter, when this is all covered with snow, this makes a really good sledding hill. They'd make a path that kind of goes down through those trees, and so the kids would just go wee down there. And our quads, we're selling these with the house to the guy that's buying the house. When Wyatt was a tiny, tiny little baby, Doug would sit here and I would sit behind Doug, and Doug would put Wyatt in the front carrier that, you know, goes on, that you carry babies in, and Wyatt would go for little rides with us. I know everybody's gonna say, no, you're going without a helmet, but really we just went real slow down the roads and went and saw the trains on the other side of the tracks and stuff. It's not like we were doing sport racing in them or anything. But Wyatt would always fall asleep. And then as he got older, of course, he didn't fit here with us. So Grandma and Grandpa have the 2-seater quad, and he would just sit up here between Grandma and Grandpa, or sit in front of Grandpa, and he could watch out, and there's a windshield to protect him. But even when he got older, he would still fall asleep on the quad. And then in the winter, we had sleds, and they would our whole road here is unpaved. So it gets covered with snow and ice, and they would sit in the sled and get pulled by the quads. Grandpa would pull everybody. So that's sad. Kara didn't come up here with us this weekend, but she really loves it up here because where we live in Phoenix, everybody's real weird about leashes. You know, if they see, even at the park, if they see a dog off leash, everybody's like, oh no, the world's coming to an end. But up here, she can run around and be free and race back and forth, chase the twins. And she loves it. Even in the snow, she just hops through the snow and run real fast and have a huge, big doggy smile on her face. I didn't bring her this weekend because we had to finish packing everything up. And I didn't want to have to keep worrying about taking her out to go potty and stuff like that. That house over there is, our neighbors Larry and Sherry used to live there, and they were an older couple and they've since passed away. But we used to go over there before Wyatt was even born and play Mexican trains with them, dominoes. And then over here, this is where Dick and Olga's trailer just was, but they just pulled it down to the trailer park. They're gonna park it at the trailer park down there until it gets cooler so they can take it home, figure out what they want to do with it. Oh, and I hear a plane. All the planes and helicopters are going back and forth, taking slurry for the wildfire that's a few miles away from us. So, like I said, this property was 5 acres, and all of that down the hill is ours, and all the way down into that I don't know what you call that, gully, wash, all the way down there and up the other side. And oh, there we go. There he goes. Wow. It's scary. They just had to evacuate everybody that's over in that area. Wyatt and Aiden and I would go down there and search for bones, which is really gross, but they would get a big kick out of finding old animal bones down there. It's just a boy thing, I guess. So anyway, Dick and Olga's trailer was here, and they would come up and stay weekends too, and sometimes more of the family would come, and it was always crazy up here. Yeah, the garage, I got my car there cooling it out because it's really hot in there. All the garbage that we got to take. Nothing really exciting in the garage, just a few random piles of crap. And a fan because it's like 90 degrees up here right now. And an old table. Gross. And then we have the inside stairs here and a little ball that I didn't let anybody throw away. I gotta remember to put that in my car. Why do I want that? I have no idea. Just because people were trying to throw it away. Here's the inside. I had bought these panels for the doors, and I didn't like that there were 4 separate panels, so Olga sewed these together for me. We have our nice deck out there, looking over our trees. In the kitchen. And our crazy UFO light. This place isn't really that big of a deal. It's just a little cabin-y feeling apartment, but you know, we designed all of this. It's like, it's like I designed the kitchen layout and picked all the cabinets for that and picked this crazy paint color that nobody but me likes. And these weird curtains that are in here that blow all the time. It's weird. But this is the bedroom. And the bathroom. Hi. There's me. I'm all filthy and disgusting from moving all day. Shower. Window. This mirror I actually have had since, I think, 2 houses before the one that I'm in now. But the guy said he liked it, so I left it there. Goodbye, mirror. We've ate many a pizza up at the counter. Lots of bowls of cream of wheat. My last few bags I got to take down to the car. I didn't take them down yet because they have makeup and melty stuff in them, and it's hot down there. And then we have a little loft, and we had our TV up here, and the pull-out couch was up here. These stairs, when Wyatt was maybe, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 months old, he wasn't able to walk yet for sure. I was up there with him, and I fell down these stairs. And I luckily landed on my butt, but I was hurt so bad I had to crawl all the way over here to where my cell phone was and call Doug to come help me. And I had Wyatt in my arm. Luckily, I was a mom, so I just protected him all the way down and hurt myself all the way down. But anyway, I know not too many people really care about seeing my house and hearing some stories from my house, but it's a big deal to us. We have a lot of memories here. Wyatt partially grew up here. And then there's a lot of bugs up here, and I know a lot of people don't care about that either, but anybody that knows me knows that I like bugs and pretty much all animals. And there's these 6-lined June bugs that are up here, and when you push on their back real lightly, they hiss, and we call them hiss bugs, and I'll always hold them and let the boys listen to them hiss, and of course nobody else wants to hold them. And then right over here is where our hummingbird is buried. There was a hummingbird that got in our garage, and I guess it wore itself out. So I picked it up and I was trying to let it go, but it wasn't ready to fly. So I was just holding it in my hand, waiting for him to get better. And then all of a sudden he just fell over and died. And I thought maybe hummingbirds, play dead or something when they're scared. But I waited for a while and he didn't wake back up. Wyatt was really sad at the time. I guess Wyatt was maybe 4 or 5 years old. So we buried him over there and had a little hummingbird funeral. And here's all our little birdies. We were really big into bird watching here. We have, there's still some bird seed up here. I'm sure Dick will take that with him. But all of our birdies come up and eat the bird seed. And we would watch look up what kind of birds they are. We have Steller's jays and woodpeckers, several kinds of woodpeckers. These are all nuthatches. And then we have finches. And I don't know, there's been some other kinds of birds. There's been bluebirds a couple of times. And robins, I think once we had robins. And then there's a whole bunch of birds that we call cravens, because we have crows and ravens here. And you have to look at the shape of the tail and the way they look to figure out which is which. So we just call them all cravens. And they get up on the trees and go, ah, 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 at us. Hey, I even hear one now. Ah! The other day we saw a mama raccoon and 3 little baby raccoons. Oh, and then one time we saw a mama skunk and some baby skunks, and Wyatt called them snunks. Mommy, snunks! And that kind of stuck too. Snunks! Ah! This is over our water tank. And it's funny because all of these trees grow here because I guess they get extra water here. I don't know. So it looks like a little miniature forest. I just think that's funny. I thought it would be really funny to get some Barbie dolls or something and make a little stop motion in here like they're in a forest. Ah, that'd be funny, wouldn't it? But I'll never do that now. Not that I would have anyway, but it's still a funny idea. There's our moving truck down there. They had to move it out of the way so that they could get the trailer down the hill. The fifth wheel. And there's our flag. It's pretty torn up. I think that the lady that's coming back to get this last stuff actually asked for it. I'm like, why do you want a torn up flag? But, propane tank that their propane guys are coming to pick up at some point. And then the playset over there. When we moved in here, the neighbors across the street over there, that house, they gave us that because their kids were older and they were moving out. And I just passed it on to a lady who is going to buy all new parts for it and refinish it and make it like new, and that makes me really happy. All of our kids played on that too. And I've walked through these woods many times too, with kids, with a dog, and alone. The stars up here at night are just amazing. It's like you come out here and just look up and the sky is black, black, black. And the stars are just bright and you can see the Milky Way. And I'm gonna miss it. But this is a pretty long video now. I don't even know how long of a video it'll let me upload. But anyway, goodbye Saskan Ranch and goodbye butterscotch trees. And I hope the next people that own this place have their own good memories here. Adios.